troops, welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you're a regular viewer, and if it's your first time, welcome. Let's see if we can catch you some pike today. That's the order of the day. Today's all about hunches. I'm fishing as always, I'm pike fishing. It's winter, the river season's open, there's drains to be fished, so another day, another drain, as I always say. And that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be fishing for pike again, dead baiting, and I'm playing a hunch, taking a bit of a gamble. I've only fished this drain once, not too much joy. When the day I fished it, it was crystal clear, only about 2 foot deep, so it was, it was gin clear almost. And I had a fish, but I wasn't confident after that I was going to catch anything, because the fish could see. If I could see the fish could see me, and it was but in the back of my mind, I was looking at it and I was thinking, when this colours up later in season, back end of the season, when the pike are looking for shallower waters in preparation for spawning and stuff, I thought this might be the sort of place you could fish February and March with a bit of success. So I've got here today, got here just as it was getting light. Water's got a bit of colour to it, so I'm pleased about that. Although it looks like it might be it is a bit of cloud in the sky, but could be a bit of a bright day as well, so I'm not too bothered about that. As I say, the water's got a nice tinge to it. So, and if you watched my last video, you'd know that I was fishing in a gale and that I changed all my rods over to floats for better indication in the wind. Believe it or not, there was better indication with float fishing in the wind. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Now all my rods are already set up, so I thought, do I waste half hour changing my rigs, or do I go float fishing? So that's what we're doing today. Float fishing, single circle hooks, dead baits on a Lincolnshire drain. It's a club water, so it's a day ticket or club water only, and it's last time I was here I was the only one on it, and I had to have a good old walk to get to this swim. I mean, there's not a lot of features. I'll go through a swim with you in a minute. There's not a lot of features, so I've had to hump all my gear 3/4 to a mile. Well, about 3/4 of a mile. I've got a pedometer on me on my phone, so I know exactly how many steps I've done, but I'll have to check it later, see how many miles it is. I think it's about 3/4 of a mile I've walked, so, which is not that far really. But it is when you're humping all the gear I take with me. If you've got a lure rod or just a bit of light gear, roving gear, I mean, it's a doddle, isn't it? But yeah, so that's the plan. I've got all 3 baits in the water. I'm going to run through the swim with you. And there we are, that's the swim. One feature, overhanging tree, near side reed bed, so I've got a float just about there. And you can pick it up on the camera, but see if I have a little zoom in. There it is, just off the tree at the moment. I was just in a rush to get the rods in, so I'll leave it there 20 minutes, half hour, and then I shall move it. Swans coming down to say hello. Middle of the swim, you've got an overhanging bush there, reed bed far side, reed bed near side, and you've got another tree. It's not overhanging, but you've got another tree to the right end of the swim. So my middle rod, you can see the tip, I've got the bait bang in the margin. Whenever I arrive at a place, the first rod I put in is always to a near side feature in the dark, fish coming close. So left hand rod, whole sardine, single circle hook, size 4, mounted on a hair. Middle rod, single circle hook, again on a size 4, whole Joey mackerel. And in my right hand rod, just there, mid-channel, opposite the tree. So I've got, I'm shaking like a good one, all that walking. Yes, I've got a bait mid-channel, near channel, far channel, and on that right hand rod we have a whole herring mounted on a single circle hook, so another size 4, and that's hair rigged of course, as always. I'll run through the hair rigging process with you later when I rebait. There we've got some swans turned up. I don't mind them, some people they annoy them, but they don't annoy me. And that is the horizon, look at that. So I've got a bit of cloud cover up there, blue skies up that way, and you can see there's not many features, so I've walked 3/4 of a mile to the only features, and I'm hoping that there's fish there. Right troops, we're about an hour into the session there, and I've had one run, one good one and all. The middle rod, the one I just dropped down 2 foot, 3 foot off the reed bed in the margins, it's only in there 15-20 minutes. Oh, got all excited, stuck my GoPro on, got in position, it went again, and I mean it did go, and so I wound down into the fish. It was holding on to the bait, but it hadn't swallowed the mackerel, so came off. You know, just let go of the bait, but I'm thinking all my hunches paid off straight away, fish, but not to be. And I didn't get the footage because for some reason it's the second time this camera's let me down. I'm not happy about that. So I'll have to work out what I'm doing wrong there. It's twice. Once I had corrupted footage, I lost about 10 minutes of footage playing them into the. Luckily, it was only a jack. And that one there, I thought I'd had it on record, and but nothing. So we'll have to go again. We'll have to get some more runs to capture. But I tell you what, there's a good old cold February wind blowing straight down this drain today. So even though it's bright, it's a cold one so far. But we're a hardy bunch, us pikers, aren't we? So yeah, so an hour into the session, I've had one run, which I'm pleased with. At least I know there's fish here. Well, you don't know. It might be just a fish here. But no, I don't. I reckon where there's one, there's more. So there was a pike here. I had a good run, so there must be prey fish here. So they're on the prowl. Hopefully, we'll catch some fish for us today. So it's been about an hour. I've repositioned all 3 rods. Got my left hand rod a bit tighter to the overhanging tree on the opposite bank. Middle rod is still on the margin, although I might move it now. I might have well have spooked the fish. There's enough. Normally when you get a run, you put your bait straight back on the spot, and bang, they go again, don't they? Quite lively. But no, it's been in there about half hour now. The fish hasn't returned. My right hand rod closer to the margin, but still opposite that tree on the opposite bank. So it's that time of day now. Been fishing for 2.5 hours. I've had one run. It's blowing a gale. I mean, it really is a cold winter day. I've got one. The right hand rod's right in at the margin. Whole Joey mackerel. I've got to keep really low down to the bank now because it's the sun is casting a huge shadow across. So only walking around and it's casting a shadow in the water. There's my middle rod, a whole herring, mid channel. rod. There's another one in the margins. That's a whole sardine. You're fishing with rods to the far bank features, hoping to pick up some fish, and nothing. I've had one run here in the margins, just off this marginal reed bed. But it's the time, as I say, it's the time of day when my mind starts playing tricks on me. I'm sitting here thinking, am I sitting here in front of no fish? Am I wasting my time? Is my hunch wrong? You know, you only had an encouragement for 2.5 hours. It's really, I mean, the wind is bitterly cold, and I'm thinking, shall I move off to somewhere else where I know I might catch fish, or move to a different swim? I can tell really what to do. I say it's bitterly cold. The wind's howling down here. I'm going to stick it out though. Mind you, if I haven't had any encouragement by midday, I could well be marching off down to the river. Now let's see how things go. All wrapped up. It's the coldest I've felt in ages. I mean, it's not that cold, you know, temperature wise. It's about 4 degrees, 3 or 4 degrees. It ain't that cold, but at the moment I'm still sat in the shade. Bitterly wind driving right down the drain. And as I said just then, your mind starts playing tricks on you. Do I move? Do I stick? Do I bust? You know, it's, I don't know. We all do, don't we? We all get itchy feet when we're piking. It's strange. I mean, sometimes, you know, if you're carp fishing or tench fishing, you'll stick to one swim, break it, feed it, whatever, and stick it out all the time. But with the pike, you're thinking, you know, 20 minutes, half hour, an hour in a swim, then move, or all sorts of things go through your head. Are you chasing the fish, or are you running away from the fish? You know, it's all about making decisions. Sometimes they're the right ones, sometimes they're the wrong ones. So I had a hunch, and I wanted to fish this stretch. I didn't know where, because I've hardly put any timing on it. And I've walked I've walked 3/4 of a mile from my car. It's not that far really. Got my gear out. I mean, I've had one run, didn't capture it on film for some reason. The bloody camera didn't work. I've had one run, didn't catch it because the camera didn't work for some reason. That's twice that's happened. I'll have to sort that out, check that over. But yeah, it's a strange morning, but it's really bright now, so but the water's coloured. Just like a bit of sun on my back. Oh, it's bitter. Afternoon troops. What difference a venue makes. Another day, well, another afternoon, another river. Back on the River Witham. I was playing a hunch, and it was, and I'm glad I've done it. Some people might say, well, you wasted 4 hours, but I had one run. I mean, the water conditions were alright, just the weather was not ideal for me. It's really quite sunny, and once I got to about 9 o'clock, 9:15, and the sun was behind me, didn't matter how low to the horizon you kept, the shadow was cast right across the whole drain. So now if if I'm walking up and down, or I'm doing things, and or even if I'm just sitting there, all of a sudden my shadow's casting right across the drain. That's going to spook fish. You know what I mean? So I think I've got the right time of year. I just got the wrong weather conditions, and when you know it now, there's some quite grey clouds coming over now, but it didn't look like that this morning. So I got to 11:30 and I was like, shall I stay, shall I go? And I think when you get to that stage, you're better off moving. If it's in the back of your mind that you want to move and you don't, you'll regret it. If you don't move, I don't think you'll be fishing. I don't think you fish the swim with the same gusto as when you arrived, because it's always in the back of your mind, if I've moved I might have caught, if I've moved. So decisive, bosh, 11:30, got everything in the barra, hiked it back 3/4 of a mile to a mile back to the car, down to the Whiffham, and I'm set up and I'm fishing. I was fishing by 12:15, so it's, I mean, it's not a great deal of time to change venues. It's different if you're just changing swims, but as I say, the sunlight was right behind me and it was casting a shadow right across the drain, and I wasn't happy with that. So next time I fish it, it'll be overcast conditions and I'll give it the whole day. So here we are on the Whiffham. I'll run for a swim with you in a minute. Haven't bothered changing this up before. I might as well, you know, if I've got the Pike floats on, I might as well use them. It don't make no difference to me if I'm floating or leisuring, really. So static dead, single hooks, circle hooks, full size 4s, all my normal baits. I'll run through a swim with you in a second and then I'll show you exactly where I've got my rods positioned and how wonderful this river's looking. February, so I mean it's a cold wind, but there's a fair old bit of cloud coming over now. I might even have to get the brolly out, but I'm down out of the wind, so it's going over my head. So hopefully I'll have a few pike for you this afternoon. But that's my thinking, you know, no point you can swim half-heartedly. If you're not happy and you're thinking about moving, you've got to be decisive, you've got to go for it. Otherwise it's always going to nag you in the back of your mind. I mean, don't get me wrong, you could move and then 3 or 4 hours later you could be sitting there going, why did I move? At least I had a run in the other place, so there might have been fish there. But no, I've gone for it. So let's see if we can catch. Here's my swim. I've got overhanging tree to the right. You can see the float is just off it. About 10 foot of water there. They've got a bit of depth there. A bit of shelter. I'm hoping there's something lurking underneath that tree. And then on that rod we have a whole herring. The centre rod. The float's just about there. I'll zoom in for you if I can. There it is. That's a whole sardine. Got quite dark and quite cloudy there. And the left hand rod, the float's about there. So you can zoom in. Right, there we are. Haven't got any far bank features really to fish to. That tree over there, but someone's in that swim opposite that, so I didn't want to go around any further. I got to the stretch I wanted to fish and got my baits in the water as quick as possible. Yeah, so it's the River Whiffham again. I'm moaning about the sunshine on the last venue, and now all of a sudden it's got really dark. I think it'll blow over quite quick. The wind's quite strong, 17-18 miles per hour wind, so that's going to whisk through. So here we are, River Whiffham. So right hand rod, just by the overhanging tree. Whole herring, single circle hook, air rig style, size 4. Middle is my go-to sardine, and the left hand rod is a jelly mackerel. Let's see how we get on. And wouldn't you know it, only been fishing here 20 minutes and I've had a run. You know, and you're going to tell you, yeah, didn't convert it. That's 2 runs today, as soon as we arrived in both swims. This time it was on the, oh, it was on the same bait, the last drain. It was the whole jelly mackerel that was taken. And again, the left hand rod this time went. I thought it was a good enough run, you know. Felt it on briefly for a second or two, but it was on, but it came off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to let the next run develop a bit more. I know I do strike early. You know, I'm a bit paranoid about deep hooking, but I think sometimes you, especially up here, they seem to be very finicky. So I might develop a little bit. Wait for them to get that bait and turn it and start taking it down, because my circle hook is in the base of the tail, so they need to be swallowing that bait before I wind down and set me hook. So on both occasions the pike's been holding on to the bait for dear life, and then 6-7 foot from the bank just lets go. So, but that's always a good start, isn't it? Yeah, I was just sitting there and I saw the line, you know, that telltale sign, you see the line tightening up, get all excited. Oh well, early days, we've got plenty of time, let's see if we can catch one. I've had a float fish bait out by the edge of that tree since I've arrived. No interest at all. Hoping that something still comes by. I mean, look at it, it's lovely, it's beautiful, isn't it? That's my right hand rod, whole jelly mackerel. My middle rod, about right halfway. The depth doesn't change that much. Once it drops down to your 10, 11, 12 foot, that's it, plateaus out. So got a whole sardine out there in the middle track, and the left hand rod, the one I had to run on, I've brought that in close to the margin. They're not far off the reeds, hoping something's there, because that's in the shade, but so far nothing. But you know, you've got to keep working the baits around. The only one I haven't really moved is that right hand rod, so I think that might be next on the agenda. Reposition that somewhere else, because just off that overhanging tree has not produced anything yet. And maybe a change of baits as well. Wouldn't you know it, had another, not a major run, it sounded like a major run at one point. I've made my mind up to freshen things up and change all the baits. So I was just going through my bait bag, my back to the river, boom, I could hear the clutch going on. Looked, the float was gone, the line was going out. As soon as I reached the rod, it stopped. So, you know, I held fire, hope it would develop again, but it didn't. When I brought the bait in, it had some big teeth marks on it, but little jack can make big teeth marks if it grabs the bait, can't it? So that's what I think it was. I think it was a, oh sorry, that's what I think it was. I think it was obviously a jack picked it up and bolted and then dropped it as soon as it felt the resistance. So been here nearly 4 hours now, and we've had 2 runs, no joy. So now I've changed it up a little bit. On the right hand rod I've got a small bluey, thought I'd try something different, and on the left hand rod I've got a mackerel tail, quite a big one, thought I'd try something different instead of a whole fish. And on the middle rod it's still me go-to bait, a sardine. So I've changed the baits on 2 of the rods, see if that stimulates any feeding. The little blueies are quite good. I've only ever used the big ones before. The little ones they're really quite small. They look like almost like sandy. So they're quite narrow, quite thin, sort of lamprey eel section-esque. So, but a nice silvery colour. So hopefully, if there are small stuff out there, a bit of a smaller bait, maybe they'll take it. We're into the last hour now, last chance to loom really, not much daylight left. I've had 3 runs today, haven't converted a single one on the single circle hook rigs. Is that the rigs or is that the stamp of the fish grabbing the bait? Still don't know because didn't even get to see any of them, but you know, I've got an hour left, so hopefully we'll nab something before we go. But been another one of those frustrating days, I'm afraid. Had a hunch where I wanted to fish this morning, arrived there, had a run immediately, and then conditions changed and I wasn't really confident I was going to catch there. So next hunch was to come down onto the river. Got to run straight away, didn't convert it, and so I've had a run about an hour ago. But you know, it's been hard work today, bitterly cold wind, which I don't mind. You know, if you're catching you're happy, aren't you? If you're catching you're warm. So it's been one of those frustrating days, you're getting pike fishing, but it ain't over yet, you know what I mean? It ain't over yet. We've still got an hour's daylight left, so gonna persevere, gonna really, you know what I mean, got to concentrate right to the end, and then hopefully as this light's fading, big pike, big gill moves in, takes your bait. That's all we dream about, isn't it? Anyway, if it's this last post, once again, thanks for watching everyone. If you're new to the channel, why not subscribe, click the notification bell, and then you'll get notified when I've got my next videos out. But at the moment, doesn't seem to be not going to be a successful day today, I'm afraid. But as I say, still got an hour. That could all change. Fishing is can be so slow, meandering and gentle, and then all of a sudden explosion. So hopefully we'll get the latter. We'll have a few explosive runs before the light beats us. Once again, thanks for watching, everyone. A lovely evening. The moon's out. Oh, it's been out all day. I've seen a kingfisher skirting across the river. Far bank still in a little bit of sunlight as the sun's setting behind me. What do I call it? A witching hour. Not quite yet, but it's almost there. It's gone spookily calm in the margins here. I'm hoping that's a omen for a run or two before it gets dark. It really is a splendid place to be. Need to cap it off with a fish. That's what we need. Let's get down and have a look at this water's edge. It's gone dead calm. There's that float. So it raced away once. Not for long though. The jack soon let go of the bait. It's been on the edge of that tree all afternoon, so I've had one run. At the moment on that right hand rod it's a small bluey. Brought the middle rod back in to where the pole fishermen fish. Hoping there's something there on a sardine, and the left round rod half a mackerel. So it's a beautiful evening. Really do need to cap it off with something special. But you know what it's like when you're getting desperate for a bite, something special. Anything, a jack. Come on. Well, just had another electric run. I mean, packing up, and left hand rod roared off. Again, just a jack picking it up and dropping it again. Now, comes a time where now I've had 5 runs today and not converted one. Now, is that down to them just being jacks, or is that down to my circle hook experiment? I'm determined to give the single circle hooks as much time as possible, so I'm going to persevere with them, even though I've had 5 runs today and I haven't hooked one. Every run I've had, they've either had their teeth on the bait and let go, or have wound down into fresh air because they've already let go. So at the moment, conversion rate today is not great at all. But would it have been any better with traditional trebles? Maybe I'm winding down too soon. I've perfected my piking over 40 years on static deads, fishing with trebles. So maybe it's a learning curve on my part and a lot of adaptation, but you know, I'm going to persevere with it, because when I do hook them, they've always been in the scissors, you know, so fish friendly. I'm going to stick at it. You think, well, you idiot, you're losing fish, but I don't know. It's not much of an experiment if you give up quite early. So I'm going to stick with the single circle hooks, and I hope we catch something. As I say, I mean, I was packing up and it roared off, and it's almost dark. It doesn't look dark on the camera, but it is. You can see the big purple light on the alarm. You can see the line was, the line was running out unbelievably fast. So, but yeah, no joy, I'm afraid. So we go again. Thanks for watching, troops.